welcome. Please settle in because contrary to my usual summer crafting, we've been doing a lot of crochet, knitting, some sewing, which I'll not be showing today, and definitely reading. I hope that you've been doing well and that you've also been finding some time to craft things or make things or do things that bring you joy. They don't necessarily have to be crafty things. In whatever you find joy, I hope that you've been able to do that at least for 5 minutes a day. Today, I want to be ambitious and talk not only about the projects I've been crocheting, the projects I've been knitting, but also if you are amenable to it, and do please let me know if this is something that interests you. I also want to discuss a little bit about reading and books. Oh, and today I even have acquisitions. I know, it's been eons since I shared things that I've purchased that have to do with the crafty side of my life, but I have done so. Actually, yeah, there's more down there. I just forgot to bring it. Before we properly begin all of our crafty chats, I want to thank each and every one of you that has commented on my video. There have been no questions as such in the Sashiko vlog yet, actually. Okay, so what I was gonna say was that I think that when I get questions that I think everyone might benefit from me answering them on the video, I will answer them on the video and not just in the comments section. So also, if you want to comment in the video, please do so. I love reading your comments, replying to your comments. I love hearing what you are up to craft-wise or just life-wise. If you had a good day, let me know. If you need some cheering up, let me know. And also, I hope this video does cheer you up. Now, in the description box, you will be able to find links to the things I talk about, as well as just handy work links like what is my Discord server, where can you find me on Instagram, Pinterest, all that lovely stuff. And you'll also be able to find chapters for this video. So if you want to come back to the video and click a certain part, you're more than welcome to do so by checking the description box below. But now that I said all that, I forgot the other admin bit. Oh, Summer Romance Crochet Along. I am filming this on the 29th of July, Monday the 29th of July. When this video goes live, which will be Saturday the 3rd of August, we will be upon the last weeks of the Summer Romance Crochet Along. But if you have joined, thank you so much. If you are still planning to join, you can start a project. You don't have to finish anything. And you can also join the Discord channel for what were the crochet cakes alongs, and there you can click Summer Romance 2024 and you can see the chats that we've been having about the couples that we're representing and little things like that. Now, we need to start with finished objects because although you can't see all of me right now, I am wearing a finished object, and this is my second lazy polka dot top. So the first one I made in a size 3 because I really wanted to go for the oversized look. But this one I made in a size 2, and I'm still happy with how comfortable it is. I will be putting an overhead video so you can see me moving about in this top. Now this top pattern is already live on my Ravelry page. If you don't like purchasing patterns from Ravelry, that is a-okay. I just tend to post them first on Ravelry because it's easier to update if I need to do a pattern update, something that was pointed out, maybe that we didn't catch in the testing or the tech editing or anything like that. Well, that's easier to update on Ravelry than it is on Etsy. So that is why I upload patterns first to Ravelry and about 6 months later to Etsy, which does remind me I have a batch of patterns that I need to upload to Etsy. And so if you're interested in the lazy polka dot top, I will leave a link below to the blog post so you can read more about the yarn choices. You can also read more about sizing and all those little things that might interest you. If you would like me to include more information on this lazy polka dot top in the blog post, then let me know either in the comment section here or in the comments section of my blog, and I'll be happy to update with any information that you would like that would help you decide whether or not you want to make this pattern. Once again, I just want to thank all my lovely testers. Their feedback was amazing, and I love that I don't think anybody chose the same yarn. Like, I love that there were so many different fibers that people chose to work with, because it shows that the pattern really does work in any of these yarns. You just kind of have to go for the fabric you want to create, but you also have to think about the yardage that I have. So in using this, I am using, now, Yonky Monkey. I've talked your ear off about this yarn. I love it. I really do. The cons on it are that it does tend to pill a little bit, but you can just take that off with either a lint remover or one of those fuzz remover thingies that I do have. I bought one in Marshall's a long time ago. Anyway, this yarn has 230 yards per skein. And it is 50 grams, okay? The company calls it light worsted. This is fingering weight. Like, this is a very fingering weight yarn. You have 460 yards in 100 grams. That is a very light fingering. So, boop. I really like using it though for summer projects, and it's beautiful. It comes in a pack of 10 50-gram balls. So 500 grams of yarn, multiply that by 230 times 10, so that's the amount of yardage that you're gonna get. I typically tend to get 2 tops out of 1 pack of Yonky Monkey, which again I find very good money wise. I think the kits are about $20. I'll put a link to the Yonky Monkey yarn in the description box below. It will be an Amazon affiliate link, which means that I get a little bit of commission at no extra charge to you. Oh, and do let me know if you've tried this yarn. What projects have you made with it? Do you enjoy it? Do you find that it's maybe a little bit too thin for your crafty purposes? I can totally see that, but I think it'll be easy to hold double and work up a denser fabric if that is your wish. So this is my first finished item, which is the Lazy Polka Dot Top version 2 for me, size 2. Another item that I have to share with you is also the second time I'm making a pattern, but I don't have it with me because it is something that I crocheted for my mom. So in July, I went down to spend some time with mom around her birthday. Her birthday's on the 6th of July. I think I mentioned that. And before going down, I had completed my Lust sweater. And I call it mine because I crocheted it. The pattern is not mine. The pattern is from Mermaid Cat Designs. You can find it on Etsy. You can find it on Ravelry. However, it is only sized up to a 52-inch bust. She does include the stitch counts that you need if you want to size up. And I think it's a pretty easy pattern to size up because you are confined to a stitch count that's going to work with the stitch that she has chosen. You kind of restricted in the multiples you're going to be using, but it is easy to size up, I think, if you need to. So I made this Lust sweater for myself in the leftover Yonky Monkey that I had from crocheting my first Lazy Polka Dot Top. And mom saw it, she fell in love with it. She's like, would you be willing to make me one? I said yes, of course. So when I went home, this was the only project that I worked on. Did I take pictures of it during the process? No. Did I record myself working on the project so that I could share it with you? No, but I do have a finished object picture and video. So let's insert the... So I crocheted a Lust sweater for mom, and it is... I made size 1, but I crocheted it in a LB collection yarn. It is a merino cotton silk blend, which sounds very sturdy. However, I don't think this yarn, the fibers are that sturdy because I was doing a magic knot to just tie my yarns together when I ran out of one ball to start the next. And as I was tightening the knot, the yarn split completely. Like it just broke. So yeah, I was a little cautious with using this yarn to make a garment, but I did block it gently, and mom loves it, which was the entire purpose of it. But you can see in the video that I'm sharing the difference changing the yarn makes with this pattern. The bamboo was super drapey, while the LB collection yarn just has more structure to it. As I said, I made size 1. I crocheted it with a 3.5mm hook, and I used just under 200 grams of yarn of this LV collection merino cotton silk. I think I used about 190 grams of yarn. And now for my third finished object. I guess I need to bring her over. One moment. Things are gonna get awkward. I hope I'm still in focus. So here, you can see a peek of my Malibu Barbie bralette. Now, the Malibu Barbie bralette was my first couple that I chose to represent for this year's summer romance crochet along. The theme is enemies to lovers, and I chose to represent a couple from the Accidental Bride series. And the couple specifically is Evos and Abby. I chose to make the Malibu Barbie bralette in this beautiful, just variegated green color. It's 100% cotton fingering weight yarn, and the company is Space Coast Yarn Company, 437 yards of cotton hand dyed. So that is the Malibu Barbie bralette. I'll also include a picture here of the Malibu Barbie bralette. Okay, so that was my entry into the summer romance crochet along, which brings us in nicely to works in progress. Yes, I'm done with finished objects, I think. I don't recall having another finished object to share with you. But hey, 3 garments in one podcast. I deserve a treat, a little treat. I have some coconut water in the fridge, so that's gonna be my treat. Okay, but works in progress. What am I whipping? So, this could have potentially been a finished object as well, but I did frog back. But what's this, you ask? Well, this is the second project that I chose for my summer romance crochet along, and it is to represent the couple in Juliet Cross's Always Practice Safe Hex, and it is Gary Lavinia. Now, I am super excited for this. I was so excited for this that I created a concept board, which if you're subscribed to my newsletter, you already saw, but I'm also going to include for you here, covering my face, the concept board. So as you can see, I was really into this. I chose things that reminded me, or pictures that reminded me of Gareth and Livy. Livy has a very particular style. In the book, she's also, not only is she a social media marketing person, but she is also, what's the word? A pinup model. So there is a particular scene that I am representing with my chosen garment. Let me pull it up. So it's black, so you probably won't be able to tell. You're probably better off with me doing an overhead shot and just inserting it over my voiceover, so that's what I'm going to be doing. Right, so as you see, I have triangled. This was the start. I thought it was going to be like a little tank top, but really it turned out into a bathing suit, because there is a scene where she is doing a pinup modeling for a fundraiser, and Gareth is watching where she wears a spider bathing suit. And obviously it's in black yarn, and it's also meant to commemorate the first dance that they shared to the song Lullaby by The Cure, which I think is a particularly like freaky song, but that's what I'm representing. I am using a 3.5mm crochet hook and Alize yarn that I also got off Amazon. Now this yarn, I gotta say, you're getting bang for your buck. This is still the first skein, and I finished my triangles, and I'm now working on the back panel. Now the reason this is not finished was because I actually had to frog back the back panel. I made it too wide, and when you're working with a bikini, you really want negative ease, because that's what you want, okay? You want it to like sit nice and tight on your body, so you don't have to worry about flashing anybody, especially if you're going to be going into the ocean with it. Now, ever since Chelsea told me that we get a lot of sharks in Florida, I do not actually step foot into the ocean. I just sit, breathe in the saline, and admire the beauty that it is, and love hearing the sound of the waves crashing. That is what I do at the beach now. In Puerto Rico though, I dive in, baby. I dive in, because our water is fine. We do get some sharks, but not as many as in Florida, I think. Okay, so that is whip number 1. Whip number 2 is living in this gorgeous bag. This is a project bag that I sewed years ago for my first ever visit to the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, which is no longer happening. But here's a little tip for you. If you like traveling, but you're not sure what souvenirs to buy, or you're trying to restrict the souvenirs that you buy, I recommend that you get tea towels. So these are Kath Kitston tea towels that I got. This was specifically at Gatwick Airport that I bought it, and I just made a huge project bag with the tea towels, and I love it. So what do we got here? What do we got? We have a Love Magic sweater. So again, I guess this is a podcast of making it again, I guess, because I already made a Love Magic sweater last year, right around this time, because it was in my autumn makes list. And wouldn't you believe it, it made it in the autumn makes list again because I love the sweater. Also because I needed something that was just very easy to pick up and work on when I wanted to, and then drop off. And until you get to the lace section, it's very easy to do that with this pattern because it is a top-down raglan. So I'm just holding it all squished now. I'm still working on my raglan increases, and I went looking for notes for this pattern so that I could replicate what I did for my first garment and see what I needed to do better, what I needed to fix, what I wanted to tweak just for my own use. I had no notes, okay? Literally, my notes said used cotton yarn. How helpful is that? I didn't write my needle size. I didn't write anything. So shame, not shame, but we're gonna do better, Clarissa. We're gonna do better. So this time I have a little notebook inside with a pen attached where we're taking notes. So the first note that I'm going to tell you is that I am using 4.5mm needles. The pattern calls for DK weight yarn and 5mm needles, if I'm not mistaken. But when I'm knitting, I usually always tend to go down to hook size because I am a loose knitter, or at least I find myself to be a loose knitter. And not only that, but I am using a different fiber of yarn entirely. In the pattern, she recommends DK weight wool, and I am using DK weight cotton bamboo. So this time I am using Kobu from Lion Brand in the most gorgeous color. This is olive, and I've been eyeing this color for ages. Last year when I got a gift card for Christmas for Joanne, I just batch ordered 7 of these, I think, or six of these. Yeah, I ordered 6 of these so that I could have enough yarn to crochet another Love Magic sweater. Like, I ordered it specifically to, knit the Love Magic sweater. I don't have any notes right now. I haven't changed anything from the pattern except that when I was working it up, I thought I had cast on size 3, so that's what I did. And then it turned out that no, I had cast on for size 2. And I only know that because I literally went to count stitches on my other Love Magic sweater. And for this one, I will say I'm not going to make the huge bell sleeves because while I love and adore the huge bell sleeves, they are completely impractical for doing anything. Okay, not anything. You can knit with them, but if you want to paint your nails, impractical. If you want to wash dishes, impractical. If you just, I don't know. Listen, I don't know how Morticia did housework with her bell sleeves, but the woman deserves a medal. Anyway, we're working that slowly. You know, it's a project that I pick up when I want to relax, when I want to watch something on TV. So it's going to be slow going. It's not going to be something that I finish really quickly. You'll probably be seeing it a lot. Okay. And am I whipping on anything else? Actively working on anything else? I have to say that I'm not, but I have a project in mind, and it is something that was left over from my autumn makes list from last year. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I can link the podcast episode right above here and in the description box below. It's just a list that I created for myself of things that I wanted to crochet, make, or bake during the autumn season, and I didn't get to a lot of things on the list, and one of it was the Superstitious Pullover. The Superstitious Pullover is a knit pattern by Michael Shawn, and you can find it on Ravelry as well as Etsy. And I fell in love with it. I loved the colors that he chose for his cover photo, and I love the idea of the sweater. So Mom gifted it to me for autumn about 2 or 3 years ago now, because sometimes we do that. Sometimes we just send each other little gifts for each of the special seasons in our lives. Not that every day shouldn't be special. I'm treated beautifully because it's a new day. But anyway, we're getting into sappy life stuff. So what I want to say is I finally just bit the bullet and picked colors. So where are we? I am at wanting to use stash or buying yarn. Now if I do buy yarn, I'm thinking about using Comfy Sport because, again, the pattern calls for DK weight yarn, but I will not be using DK weight yarn in October. Like, it's just not gonna happen, okay? Like, I'm not gonna wear that garment. So I was looking into something that was lighter weight, hence Comfy Sport from We Crochet. And they had all the colors that I possibly needed, of course, in that comfy range for this Superstitious Pullover. Again, if you're in my newsletter, you saw the color palette that I'm thinking about. But I also have a color palette from Stash that I could potentially work up. So with the Superstitious Pullover, you get a lot of color work charts, so you can mix and match and create about 20 different sweaters from just this one pattern. But I am interested in doing the Sanderson sisters, which is from the movie Hocus Pocus. I put a spell on you. Right, so first color option. Our first color option is this one right here. So on my right hand, we have this fingering weight. It is the colorway Dirty on Purpose from Woolen Vine. And it's like a dirty gray, but it has browns running through it and even some blue speckles. So I thought for my contrast color, I would use this brown. And then for Winnie's hair, I would use this red. For Winnie's face, I just intended to keep using the brown because we can make her be a lovely caramello color. She's a fictional character. And for her hair, I had this, which was a gift from a lovely viewer of this podcast, Fiona. And then for her dress, this green. So I have colors for Winnie. Now the thing is, this is fingering weight yarn. It's all fingering weight yarn. So I was actually thinking of crocheting the sweater following the color work charts. This is basically me taking inspiration straight from Claudia of Sunbird Crochet, because she tends to take a lot of knit patterns and crochet them. And that's giving me courage. It is. Also, because it's fingering weight yarn, I just think it would be better to crochet it. So this is color range number 1. Color range number 2 would be representing whoever Sarah Jessica Parker plays. I don't remember their names, okay? I don't. So we have this color range. So this beautiful Edinburgh, it's called Edinburgh. This was for another Woolen Vine yarn that she dyed for EYF 2018, which was the last time I went. So there's this colorway. It's got purples, pinks. It's not a very Clarissa color, but I do love it. The colorway is inspired by thistle. So we have that one. And then we have the contrasting color would be tea leaves, which would work beautifully for Sarah's dress, which would leave me with this opal to do her face, just her face. That would be it. Everything else contrasting wise would be the tea leaves colorway. The main color would be EYF, and then her hair is blonde, so I need to find some yellow in my stash, and that would be my second colorway. Now I'm really leaning more towards this one just because I have less colors to match. I think these colors do themselves justice beautifully. I think I really just need to bite the bullet and cake them up and see which colors actually, oh my god, my earring is stuck. which colors actually work well together in a color work format, because doing color work with yarns that have a little bit of variation sometimes doesn't work how you want it to. So this would be for Sanderson's sister, the blonde one. I think she's the youngest. Also, I would be crocheting this version because this is all fingering weight as well. So, do you like Dirty on Purpose colorway for Winnie? I think her name is Winnie. Or do we like option 2 for the blonde Sanderson sister? I am really leaning more towards this one than this one, just because I don't want to include the red. Like, I think with Dirty on Purpose, the brown looks really nice and the green looks really nice, but the red for her hair is like a huge contrast, so not sure. Okay, so those are my whips. Now I'm gonna take a break and I'm gonna get a sip of water, and I suggest you get one too. We'll be right back to talk about acquisitions. Okay, so acquisitions. What have I bought? What have I bought? So I have 2 yarny acquisitions and 1 just crafty one. No, 2 yarny acquisitions, a crafty book, and a crafty one. Words, where art thou? So the first yarny acquisition was one that we voted on together over on Instagram, and it is a chroma fingering weight yarn. I'm gonna insert pictures because my camera is blowing out today. But this is the color Sandpiper, and it is a fingering weight yarn that is, what do you call that? Single ply yarn. It is a wool polyamide blend, single ply, and we have variations of blues and some like bluish grays, as well as some very light bluish greens. And I bought 3 of these because I want to crochet myself another Las Nubes top, because the one that I had originally done for the pattern when I re-released it last year, I shrunk it, so it fits a smaller individual than myself. Luckily, it shrunk in a way where it's just a size smaller. It didn't felt. So I am going to be doing a little giveaway for that if anyone is interested in winning it. And if nobody's interested in winning it, then I will be putting it on Etsy for sale. As a sample sale, you know. Okay, so that was acquisition numero uno. Acquisition numero dos was during Amazon's Prime Day sale. I got myself this lovely, beautiful ball of Bernat blanket extra because I want to crochet myself a huge mushroom pillow, and that's what we're going to be doing. I think I'll probably film a short reel on that when I do crochet the mushroom pillow, and then just discuss what I did on a podcast. I don't think I'm going to be doing a tutorial or a vlog about it, unless you're interested in that. I do love filming vlogs and sharing what I'm up to with you, so if you're interested, do let me know. And the third crafty acquisition that we got was a set of pastel highlighters that were also on sale during Amazon Prime Day. I like to color coordinate things. Do I remember to color coordinate them all the time? No. But I do not like the brightness of highlighters. So Sharpie has these mild colors, they call them, but I will say that some of the mild colors are highlighterish. They're not mild. So the orange one is really highlighter orange. It is not a mild orange. Actually, we can test that out right now. Let me compare this. I do have an orange highlighter. Okay, so I guess it's a little, so this one on the left, my left, is the midliner from Sharpie, and this one on the right is the highlighter. So I guess it is a little milder, but not enough that I would call it a midliner. You know what I mean? So that's my very mini review. Also, they say no bleed, but I do find that it does bleed a little bit, like through the page. Not that it bleeds when you highlight things, but it does show up on the other side of the page, especially depending on the thickness of the paper that you're using. So those are little things that you can consider if you are interested. in midliners. Now, the other crafty book that I got, I was watching Kiko Savi's vlog. She does visual diaries about what she's crafting. It'll typically involve 1 or 2 projects that she can start or complete in that day that she is filming. I love watching her channel. So anyway, she showed some books that she bought, and I saw one and I was like, I really want to see this book. I think it's a good book to learn techniques from, because it's all about the jasmine stitch, but it uses the jasmine stitch to create lots of different items with different shapes. And I thought that would be cool to practice with any other stitches, right? Maybe the techniques will be transferable. So I set out trying to find this book. So you can get it in Amazon Japan, but getting Amazon Japan to ship to the US is a no-go. Buying Kindle books from Amazon Japan is also a no-go. So I ended up finding this blog that shares links to other ebook sellers in Japan. So not just Kindle, but other companies. And I actually ended up finding the ebook version for this book. And I will link it for you in the description box below if you also want to check it out like I did, because the process for that was quite interesting. I had to screenshot the cover when she shared it. And then after that, I had to, I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you take pictures of text in your iPhone, you have like little bars that you can click. And if you click that and it's in a language that you don't have your phone set to, it'll translate it for you. And it'll highlight the text as well. So I had to highlight the text, copy paste that text, and put it into the browser to try and find this book. So it was trouble, okay? I spent 1.5 hours doing it. Now I'm gonna go get my iPad. My iPad was right behind me. Yes, it was. All right, darling, open up. Thank you. So the thing about it is that you can only view it through the website that you bought it. So I'll put a screenshot, obviously, of the thing, but you have so many pretty stitches. This is the reason, the entire reason I went hunting for it, because it's like jasmine stitch color work, and I was super, super intrigued by it. You have, so you're probably saying, but you don't read Japanese. I don't, but there's charts that you can follow for all of the patterns. So that's what I'm going to be doing. This one was really cute too. It's like a little butterfly pouch, just using jasmine stitch. Again, all the projects here use jasmine stitch, and oh my god, this was, anyway, so I will put a direct link to this page right, you know what, actually, I'm going to copy the link and I am going to save it in my notes so that I don't lose this again. That's what I wanted to share with you today in terms of crochet. And I don't know how we're doing on time. We're probably like 40 minutes already. But if all you wanted to hear about was the crafty updates and the crafty projects and inspirations such as that, then thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you did find this time that you spent with me to be cozy, creative, and inspiring, as well as maybe providing a little break from reality. It's just a little caveat that just because I choose to provide those little breaks from reality doesn't mean that I myself don't have a lot of opinions on what has been going on politically in the United States as well as around the world. I just choose not to talk about them in the podcast. Anyway, that aside, the book that I wanted to talk to you about today is a book that I literally finished reading and absolutely enjoyed. It is Ne'er Duke Well. So this is by Alexandra Vasti. This is a Regency romance book. And so historical romances are how I started my journey into reading romance books. So they have a soft spot in my heart because, you know, you have a a bit of removal from the situation because it's something that happened in the past, fictionally, of course. And this book really brought me back to my roots, because when I was reading historical romance or historical fiction, one of the things that I really appreciated was when they didn't make the characters perfect. When they showed flaws and they kind of delved into all the different people that we can be based on the life experiences that we have. So because of that, one of my favorite that I still read every once in a while to this day is Lord of Scoundrels by Loretta Chase, I believe. And then another one of my favorites is the Highlander series by Joanna Lindsey. I want to say it's Joanna Lindsey. If I'm not, I'm going to correct myself on the screen. And this one has quickly added itself to that list. Oh, of course, I cannot exclude the Dangerous Damsel series by India Holton. Like, I've talked about this series so much before. It starts with the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels, and then it continues with, oh my god, something about witches. The second one's about witches. And then the third one is titled Tea and Treason. And I love all those books. Those are, I would call them adult YA. They do have mentions of like other, you know, more smuttier relationships. Like it's mentioned, but it's not descriptive. It's not included. However, this Ne'er Do Creel does include some very, very nice intimate scenes, but that's not the reason why I loved it. I just, from the get-go, the characters were so endearing, and I will say though that for the plot line of this book is that Peter, he is an American from New Orleans, and he has somehow, not somehow, but you know, his dad died and he's now inherited the dukedom, and he's been brought over from America, where he was raised in New Orleans, to take over this dukedom 2 years ago, as per the plot of the book. And he's trying to get guardianship of his siblings. And in this book, you find a chosen family. You also find the love story between Lady Selina and his lordship, the Duke of Stanhope, Peter Kent. So there is that love story, but there is also one of the main plots really is Peter trying to get his siblings to live with him, following these new convoluted rules of the aristocracy that he is now thrust in. So for a book that was really meant to be a lot about him getting guardianship of the children, they don't come out as much, but the times that they are, I think, are very key into their characters and very good at kind of painting that struggle that Peter has of needing to get guardianship over his siblings because he wants to protect them, but also not knowing at all how to interact with his siblings. So yeah, I just really enjoyed all the characters in this book. They're all Helians in their own right, and they are endearing, and I just love it. Oh, and because I didn't mention it, Lady Selina is obviously a lady of the ton that he knows. Like, they met 2 years ago because he tried to steal her horse. He thought the horse was lost, and anyway, the point is, she runs a, what is it? How is it called? Selina is society's most proper debutante. Save one tiny secret, she runs an erotic circulating library for women. Like, that was literally all that I knew about this book. And I was like, I need to read this. I need to read all about this woman. So I just really enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say. If you're subscribed to my newsletter, it was last week's newsletter, you'll know my thoughts on this. I wrote a more detailed review than I usually do because I did sit down to take notes, but it was so fun to actually not only approach reading for pleasure, but reading to really comprehensively have discussions about it. I don't know how to describe it, but if you're in the market for a new Regency, low stakes, cozy comfort read, I with endearing characters of all ages, then I suggest Near Duke Well. Being less loquacious, all I have to say about this book was, I liked it. Another. Which does mean that I will now probably be headed to Barnes & Noble's to get the new India Holton book. And I know Alexandra Basti has written more books, so I'm definitely going to be adding those to my reading. Now, I think I've chatted your ear off enough. Like, I always think, I have nothing to say. And then I sit down and boy, do I have a lot to say about everything. So, yeah. But today I will not give you a Puerto Rican goodbye, which if you do not know what a Puerto Rican goodbye is, it means that I say goodbye between 3 to 4 times before actually goodbying. So, that was the first one. I will just say thank you so much for joining me in this podcast episode, this July crochet podcast wrap up. I will see you for another wrap up on the 31st of August, which I believe is a Saturday. So on the 31st of August, we will have another crafty chat like this one. Between now and then, you will also have some crafty vlogs that I hope that you enjoy, because I cannot believe we're like nearing fall season. Autumn. I don't know, I'm not feeling it, guys. I'm really not. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you in my next video. Let me know what you are up to, what you would like to craft. Oh, and before I leave, we need to decide on when we're doing the live to end the summer romance crochet along. So I will be putting a poll in my community thread here on YouTube so that we can vote on that. And thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next video. Happy crafting!